we have a very special speaker for today. He's one of our coaches, and today he will be sharing strategies. So please be ready to take notes as we learn together on how to establish a very strong online presence and optimize your websites, transforming it to an online brochure into a lead generating machine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Coach Michael Johnson.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. So, like Miss Jo Bell said, my name is Michael Johnson. I'm a coach. I've been in business for the last 20 years. I'm an Air Force veteran. That's where I learned my trade. And after we invaded Iraq and did all that, I got out of the military, had 3 children who are now about 17 to 18 years old, and 2 of them are working with me in the business. And now I'm doing business coaching, and that's my story. I'm here in North Carolina. So if you're here on the webinar, we're going to go into a lot of really cool things about marketing. First off, I want to say go in the chat and go ahead and shout out your name and where you're from, because we always want to know who we're talking to. Like I said, I'm here from North Carolina. For all you Jo Bells out there that have been named Jo Bell, all you have to do, let's get right into it. Let me share my screen here. All right, let's see here. Okay, so talking about online presence. There's a lot when we talk about online presence. And as Jo Bell mentioned, we're talking about websites, right? But there's a lot more to websites and online presence and conversions than your typical SEO that we always talk about. So we're going to get into some of those things, right? Now, I want to share a little story with you guys about the time when I pushed someone's car into a lake. This was only 2 months ago. I pushed someone's car into a lake with the people in it. Let me tell you the story. I was driving, and this is going to tie into marketing. So my wife and I were driving about 2 months ago, and we saw these 2 young ladies stuck in the middle of traffic. And I have been stuck so many times in traffic. When I started my business, someone gave me a free van. It was a garbage van, and it would always get me stranded. So I made a vow, if I ever see anyone stuck in traffic, I'll get out and I'll push them out of traffic. So I got out and I asked these young ladies, I said, hey, do you know how to put it in neutral? They said, yes. They put their vehicle in neutral. And I said, hey, I'm going to push your vehicle right into that parking lot over there. Once it gets in the parking lot, just hit the brake and park it, and you'll be good to go. You'll be out of traffic. So I gave them the thumbs up. They gave me the thumbs up. I pushed them into the parking lot. Once they got in the parking lot, I turned my back and started walking away. And then I heard this terrible sound. Both young ladies opened their vehicle doors, barrel rolled out, and their car drove off into the lake, right? The car had 30-day tags, which means they had just bought it. Why do I share this story? Because before that day, I always helped people in traffic. Ever since then, 2 months ago, now when I see someone stuck in traffic, I don't want to help. I don't want to help because the first thing I think is, am I going to cause more damage than good? So one bad experience can change everything. When it comes to marketing, you all know you're home service professionals. How many emails do you get a day? How many Facebook messages? How many DMs do you get where people are telling you, hey, we're a marketing company. We can do this. We can make your website this. We can get you. Their most famous thing they say is, can you handle 10 to 15 leads a day? I get 3 to 5 of those messages a week. When I hear the word marketing, my brain freezes because of so many bad experiences. This is what we're going to try to change today. We want to take marketing as a scary, unknown thing, something that we just, I push someone's car into the lake, but how many times have we just dumped money into the lake because we don't know what we're doing? We're trying to market. We're spending thousands of dollars. We don't understand it. So I want to change some of that. So let's unfreeze our brains and just come in with an attitude of, hey, let's reframe what marketing is. All right. And I see some people are raising their hand in the group. We'll get to the questions later toward the end of the presentation. If you have a question that's just burning in your mind right now, go ahead and put it in the chat. Jo Bell is monitoring the chat. I'm a little bit high speed, So I'll never get to the question, but Jobel, if you see something in there that we really need to pause, then just let me know. All right. So, okay. Give me the thumbs up like the two young ladies gave me when I pushed their car into the lake. All right. So, okay. So what comes to your mind when you think of marketing? When we mention marketing, a lot of times for home service companies, stress comes to our mind because typically we don't think of marketing until we don't have any work. And that's usually the biggest problem. Marketing is not oh, I don't have leads. Now I need to do something. Now I need to hire someone. What's going on with my website? Marketing only works when it's consistent and you're doing it on a consistent basis, month to month, week to week, day by day, and there's some sort of consistent plan, right? None of us would sit and say, oh, I don't have money for my bills, and we haven't worked for 6 months, and then the bill comes in. We put the work in first, and that's the same thing with marketing. It has to be done consistently. So if the word marketing just kind of scares you or makes you stressed, or marketing equals money, right, because of all the agencies that we pay, let's kind of reframe that and let's look at some different ideas. All right, first idea, everything we do is marketing. Everything. Marketing is not search engine optimization. For a lot of home service companies, and like myself, I've said I've been in business 20 years. A lot of times we want to take the magic pill, like the Matrix. Morpheus says, take this pill, this will happen, take this pill, this will happen. It's a movie, right? There are no magic pills where we can say, oh, I can pay for search engine optimization, I'll get a bunch of leads. Everything we do as a company is marketing. Our uniforms that our technicians wear is marketing. The truck that we drive is marketing, right? I just went through my company, a really big rebranding. It cost a lot of money. But those trucks pulling up to those homes elicits an emotion from homeowners. So every single step of the way, we're marketing our company, right? So every little thing is marketing, which leads us to the next questions. And this is where a lot of times we get lost. This is what makes the biggest difference between someone who's doing really, really good marketing and someone who's just saying, hey, here's some money, make my website, here's some money, run some ads, and it doesn't work. There's a difference, and that difference is finding out what your message is. If you don't know what your company's message is, you have to pause, and you have to find that out first. Every single person, and I can't see all of your faces, every single person in this Zoom has a unique message that is unique to your company and your company alone. What is my message? Michael Johnson. I'll tell you what my message is. Michael Johnson founded AC Man Heating and Air after serving 6 years in the United States Air Force. Our company is veteran owned, and we've been in business over 20 years, and we've amassed over 900 five-star reviews on Google alone. Okay, that's my story. This is how I compete. Oftentimes, and I would challenge, if this webinar was long enough, I would open it up and I would challenge everyone and I would say, show me your website right now. And we would see a lot of the same. And this is how we make the difference. So if we take 10 websites next to each other, if you're in heating and air conditioning, you may be in pressure washing, you may be in plumbing, you may be in electrical. What do all these websites say? We do HVAC, we do electrical, we do rewiring, we do this here, we do this here. Every website says that. And the example that I make is exactly this, right? So I've been married 20 years. I have 3 beautiful sons. I have a beautiful wife of 20 years. I'm out of the dating game, okay? But I like to give this example. If you've ever been on a dating website and you see those profiles, how would you be attracted to someone and they say, hey, I'm a man, I can go on a date with you? Or I'm a woman, I'm single. If those profiles said that, it would be so boring and so bland. None of those people would get a date. Well, what are we trying to do with our websites? What are we trying to do with our marketing messages? We're trying to get a date. with our customers. Our customers are on those dating websites, right? If we say they're going on 10 different profiles, so they're landing on 10 websites in your city, and they're trying to pick which person that they want to hire. What is the difference between theirs and yours? And a lot of people show me their website and they say, oh, here it is. And it has a book online. It has a phone number. They have their service area pages, right? SEO. People always want to do the service area pages. We service this town. We service this town. We service this town. Guess what? That's the same as saying, hey, I'm a man. I have a profile. Date me. It's the same thing. What is it about you and about your company that can make an emotional connection to that customer that's different than the other 10 pressure washing websites, right? I told you what mine is. I'm veteran owned and operated. Our business is in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's home to the biggest military base in the United States. So when you go on other websites in my town and they say, we do HVAC, we do heat pumps, we do electrical, and then you go on mine and we do all those same things, but we say, hey, we're veteran owned. We know you and we understand you. So I see a lot of you taking notes and I love it. What is your message? What's your company's message? Who are you? Who are you? And we can figure that out by going back to the reason why you started the company, right? So do you believe in lady pros? Do you believe in women in the trades? Is that a big thing for you? Put that on your website. That's your message. Do you believe in mental health, right? Kedma is she's our coach's coach. She owns a cleaning company. And her thing is she believes in mental health. Cleaning is at the heart of mental health. If you can have your space clean, you can be calm. So you see how this, when a homeowner goes on multiple cleaning websites and they say, wow, they're about something bigger. Now you're starting to compete. So number one, I would say, let's figure out what your message is and who you are. And you know what? Sometimes that's going to take a lot of digging and it's going to take a lot of emotion and a lot of pain, right? But that's how we get our message. That's how we get our why. Who are you? Why should we choose you? Okay, and we'll get into that a little more in a minute. I want to show you guys this. So these are some posts that I've done in the past. I love my social media. I've always wanted to dominate social media in my town, and I like to feel like I have. Okay, so it's a little shameless plug. But I want to share with you some of the things that we do to try to dominate social media in our town. And I'll show you. If you see there on the left, there's a photo of me and my father, right? So I posted this on Facebook, and I've had this on my website. It used to be on there for a while. The message with this photo is, my name is Michael Johnson. I was born on a shelf in a hardware store. Well, at least that's what it felt like, being the son of a lifelong tradesman. My father was an electrician for over 40 years, and I'm following in his footsteps as an HVAC founder of 20 years. But the best thing about my company, me getting to work side by side with my father every day. This post actually went viral and had over 200,000 likes and a couple hundred shares. I had to take it down because it was going so viral. But why is it viral? Why do people care about that? And I'm going to get to that in a second. If you look on the right side of this, this is one of my technicians. His name is Miguel. What is Miguel doing in this photo? He's holding a little puppy. He's the cutest little puppy you've ever seen, right? We go out once a week and we take photos of our technicians and photos of jobs. Why do you guys think that this photo of Miguel, and this is rhetorical, right? Because we're going to get to the Q&A in a minute. Why do you think this photo of Miguel brings in more HVAC jobs than these photos? It's obvious. Okay. So if you're out there, if you're on this webinar and you are an electrician, a plumber, an HVAC, a pressure washing, floor coating, and you're posting photos like this, there's a reason why they're not getting any traction. And I want you, even when we're talking about websites, social media, because we're talking about your online presence. This is what this webinar is about, optimizing your online presence through your website. And we're talking about leads and conversions. Imagine yourself, you just worked a long 8-hour day, 9, 10-hour day. You get home, you hug your wife and kids, you take a shower, you open your phone, you scroll on Facebook. Do you want to see this? You don't care about this. What do you care about? A story. This guy is working with his father. Oh, this guy loves little puppies. So we have to find a way to get away from talking about our trade and change it to talking about our trade plus the story behind what was done. So these photos are photos of actual work that we've done. We would share this with an image of the technician with the story of how we helped that homeowner, right? Instead of heat pump installation we did in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's boring, right? How about it's 102 degrees in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We went to a customer's home. Her mother is 92 years old and she was hot. The homeowner didn't know what to do. All the companies were booked. We were also slammed, but we're here to serve. We're here to outreach. So we made space in our day to help this woman because we serve Fayetteville. Put a picture of your technician and write that. That is how you optimize your presence, right? So for all of you that are thinking right now of your website and you don't have those stories on your website, this is why companies are dominating, right? Because they're sharing a story. And I wish we were in a room because I'd love to see your head shaking or your questions. And we'll get to the QAs here in a minute. Jobel, we don't have any yet, right? Okay.
Coach.
All right. Good. Good. Okay. So let's talk about website essentials. How many in here, right? Just put in the chat. Do you think your website is a 10? Why or why not? Right? So rate your website 1 to 10. Just put it in the chat. Just put a 1, 7. Okay. Malcolm, he says his is a 9.5. Anyone else? Is your website a 10? Okay. Kaylee says it's an 8. Chris says it's a 2. He hasn't committed the time. I want to talk about that. Not personalized, 4, 8, 7. Okay. All right. This is good. So I always say whenever I get on coaching calls, whenever we coach the clients and we talk about something and it really makes you feel bad or feel convicted, like, oh man, all I have is posts of equipment. All I have is posts of my truck. I don't have any stories. It can make you feel bad, but that's actually good because that means things are going to change, right? So for those of you that are saying I'm a 2, I'm a 4, Curtis said 4, it's okay, but doesn't tell a story. That's good because now you have room for improvement, right? So we need to find a way to tell that story. Now, House Call Pro does build websites, and House Call Pro builds nice websites. But there's a partnership between House Call Pro and you. When they build your website, you're going to tell them the story of your company. And you're going to say, this is the story that I want to push forward, right? Is your story about military legacy? Is your story about giving back? There's a company nearby us that has the word hounds in the name. Why do they do that? Because they give back to local animal shelters. It's a really good story. Jeremy says, what does a 10 look like in your mind? Okay, we're going to get to that. That's going to be on my last slide. All right, so good question. Great question. All right, so for those of you that think your website's a 10, you have to start thinking why. Why is it a 10? So put in there, those that said 9, 9.5, 10, I want to put why. All right. Are there too many pages? Are there too little pages? Those kinds of questions, that's why we partner with someone that can build a good website, because you guys are home service company owners. I'm a home service company owner, right? I do business coaching, but I run my company every day. After I get off of this webinar, I'm going to go and run my company, and then I'm going to coach a client. I'm not a website person. I believe in buy back my time where my time is valuable. My time is not valuable building my website. My time is valuable focusing on the business that I'm running day in and day out. So how many pages is it going to be? How many service pages? What is this? What is that? As the owner, we need to outsource that to someone else, but tell them our story, because only you know your story and only you can tell your story. And only the experts can build a website because they're experts. Okay. So do we have any, those of you that said a 10, I want to hear why. I want to hear why, because you said it's a 10, you said it's a 9.5. I want to hear why. Okay. All right. John says he doesn't have a website yet. Okay. All right. And I would venture to say most people in here have a website, even if you don't have one, because Google will make an online profile for your business. And believe it or not, that Google profile is the representation of your business. And if it's not telling a story, you're losing on there. Okay. Here's a little quick tip before we move on. If you Google plumbers near me, the first thing that's going to pop up is the Google Maps listing. Websites are going to come under that Google Maps listing, right? So if you're not optimizing your Google My Business page, for those of you that said, I don't have time to do it, you don't have to have the time. You just need to find someone who has the time and pay them to do it, right? So we need to be uploading photos. We need to be using AI. If those of you that have notes, write this down. Opus Clip is one example. It's an AI software, OPUS space Clip. There's another AI called Devi, DEVI. What you can do with Opus Clip is go out, film your crews working, film your crews talking, upload that video into the AI, and it will make the clips for you, right? So here I am running an HVAC company. I own a sales training business. I do business coaching. I don't have time. That's why we find tools to do it, because like it or not, we have to do this marketing. Okay. All right. Paid search first. Who, not how. Kaylee, exactly. Exactly. If you didn't know, you know now, right? Who, not how is a concept of, if you don't know how to do it, you don't have to know how to do it. You just need to find someone who can do it, right? So, all right. Okay. Jobel put the Opus Pro there. Okay. All right. Let's talk about a content strategy. So let's get a little nerdy for a minute here, right? So I'm really excited. We're going 100 miles an hour, but let's slow down and get a little nerdy. And I don't want to lose you guys, but this is important. Regular updates on your website. We all know, well, maybe we don't all know, Google likes to see updates. If your website has not changed in 5 years, Google is going to consider your website to not be relevant. What is Google search's number one product? So my number one product as an HVAC owner is to get people comfortable in their homes. What is Google search's number one product? Their product, well, their service to their end user is to give them a result that helps them. If your website is not updated and Google says, well, this company might be closed, they're not going to serve up your website. So your website needs to have regular updates on it. When people go to your website, does it look like you're still in business? Do you still have the same blog article explaining to people about COVID-19? And that's the last thing that you put there, right? So what is this signaling? Blogging. For a lot of us, they have a blog on there. They'll do it for you. Our SEO companies will do blogs for you. But can they tell your story for you? I would venture to say there's not a single person in this chat that can tell the story of my town better than me. I've lived here for 25 years. I know the people in my town. I know what they do. I know the parks that they visit. I know the school football games that they go to. So when we're blogging, we need to utilize that knowledge and feed that story to our website companies. And we need to be blogging on a consistent basis with keywords, right? What is the goal? And Tim, Google guaranteed is number one, 100%, 100%. All right. So we need to find out our story, use keywords. Mine would be Fayetteville HVAC repair. I would write a blog about something in my town that uses those keywords. And that's getting nerdy. All you need to do, owners, I don't want to distract you because my business coaching side tends to kick in. I don't want business owners constantly updating their website. You have more important things to do, right? But you have to understand this so that you can be the power behind your website when you're communicating this. Okay, so regular updates, new images and videos. All right, this is this is in a nutshell. If you're an owner and you are in the field, you can get an insane amount of photos. I do not work in the field. I work from the office. I post 40 times a week and I'm not in the field. All you have to do is pick one day, 1 hour a week, go out, meet a couple of your technicians, and just snap a bunch of photos of them and post them. Or make a contest for your employees. Ask them to make reels, make a little contest, and whoever's reel gets posted on the website or gets posted on Facebook or gets posted on TikTok, give them a little prize. It could be a little cash prize. It could just be the stars on the board. Incentivize the employees to take photos, right? So, but we have to have images and videos. Guys, you know, guys and gals, we are in a video world right now. If there are not videos and there are not images, we are not relevant. If I go to your website right now and it has a bunch of information about the services that you offer, and there's no videos and there's no photos, they're going to swipe next on that. They're going to swipe next because it's not personalized, right? So I'm looking at a lot of people in the chat right now, and I see your faces, your beautiful faces, your handsome faces. There's a lot of people in the chat whose cameras are off and it's completely black. This is how some people's websites are. It's just pass next, right? I'm not even looking at the people with the cameras off. I'm actively looking at you with the cameras on because people make an emotional connection with other people, right? Okay. Do you have a content calendar? Let's talk about this. One of the hardest things to do is be consistent with posting. What we'll do is we'll get off a webinar like this and we'll go out and we'll take 1,000 pictures today and 1,000 pictures tomorrow and 500 pictures the next day and 200 pictures the next day. And then next thing you know, we haven't done anything. So how do we stop ourselves from the inconsistency? A content calendar. And we work with you to keep that thing consistent. All right. So content calendars, you can find them, you download them, and you set where you're going to post. That way, whoever it is, if it's you, if you're the owner that's going to do all the posting and the updating, then you're managing yourself. You're getting up, you're getting your coffee early in the morning, you're opening that content calendar. Oh, this is where I have to post today. Post, 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 and then go about your day. The next day, same thing. If you have an employee that's doing that, you're going to give them that, and you as the owner are going to have that as a shared document, and that's how you're going to keep your media person accountable. If you don't have a calendar, guys, we're going to get super busy. We're never going to handle it. Okay? All right. Do you focus on keywords? Hey, that's House Call Pro's specialty. When they make these websites, that's their job. They know the keywords. They're going to build it in. They're going to do that. We don't have to worry about that. It's our job to tell them our story. Say, hey, you guys are the experts on the keywords, but I want my story wrapped in there. I'm a veteran-owned company. I'm a woman-owned company. We give to charity. Whatever it is, that's a story that needs to be told. All right. Reviews and testimonials. Everyone in here knows it's 2024. People don't hire without reading reviews. It's the number one thing. It's the number one thing. Unfortunately, a lot of times we only have our reviews on our Google listing. Well, if people are going to our website, they're clicking through to the website, we need to have those testimonials and those reviews right there. Now, with testimonials, there's a really good book for the note takers. It's called Story Branding. The title of it is Story Branding, and it teaches how to write a good testimonial. When we write testimonials, typically what we do, and this is the wrong way, is we write ourselves as the hero of the story. I'm Michael from AC Man Heating and Air. We helped this person. You know what? Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. They care about themselves. How can you help me? So we need to write a story that puts the homeowner as the hero of the story. We need to put ourselves as the guide in the story. And I'll give you a quick example because we'll be coming to a close here in a few minutes. So Star Wars, a lot of us know Star Wars, right? We want to position ourselves as Yoda and position the customer as Luke Skywalker. right? Luke Skywalker had tons of potential, but he couldn't realize his potential until he met Yoda, who taught him the way, and then he became the hero. This is how we write our stories, right? Little old lady was really hot in her house, beautiful home, beautiful old lady. She was wonderful, but she was hot. When she came to us, we were able to solve the problem. So we need to put them as the center of the story because we don't read stories that aren't centered around us, okay? Read the book, Story Branding. I can't give you the whole thing in a statement. Okay. All right. Question. Jeremy says, you said you know your city better than anyone else. Bold statement. So how do we get to know our community better so that we can use that on our site? I'm glad you asked. Okay. Let's go to this slide. Marketing is more than ads. This is my favorite topic on marketing, right? A lot of times we want to do that pill and we're going to say, hey, we're going to run Google local service ads. We're going to run Google pay-per-click ads. We're going to run Facebook ads. Marketing is more than ads. And you know what ads are? Paying for ads is a punishment for not being known in your community. I don't want to pay for ads so people can search air conditioning company near me, air conditioning company Fayetteville. I don't want that. I want them Googling my company name. Because if they Google plumber near me, I now have to compete against everyone else. If they Google my company name, my website will come up immediately and I don't have to compete. Last year, I was spending $5,000 a month on Google ads. I made a promise to myself that I cut all of the Google ads. I said, I'm going to be known in my community and I'm not going to need those ads. So I took that $5,000, stopped giving it to Google. I'm not prescribing this. I'm describing what I did. I took that $5,000 out of the budget and I put that on local community initiatives. How far can $5,000 go in your community? Recently, we partnered with a group. It's called the Tulsa Initiative. They take at-risk youth in Fayetteville, at-risk youth in our community, and they put them through a program and teach them business skills and teach them life skills, and they change their whole trajectory. $5,000 to that program will go a lot further than $5,000 on Google. Now I'm known as the company that gives to that organization. Everyone in the organization knows me. Everyone on the city council knows me. The mayor knows me. Why? Because of that initiative, right? So to answer your question, how do you get to know your community better? You have to be out in your community and ask yourself this. How often does your company actually show up in the community versus you showing up? So if I go to the local fireworks show, I went. But how does my company show up? When people go to the local festival, does my company ever show up there? Is there a booth there? Are there technicians giving out balloons to little kids? This is how you get to know your community and your community know you. It's very hard to compete against a company that's known in the community for giving back. I want to be known as that company that we saw at the fair, that company that gave to those kids. That I don't want to be known as HVAC companies near me. Oh, there's an ad, click. Now I have to pay $200 per click because they're driving the price up. So we have to be known in our community. And this is the biggest pushback that I get from this. People say, well, I'm an introvert. Well, guess what? It's time to get some extrovertness, because if you want to grow your company and you want to stop having to pay Google, you're going to have to get in your community or find someone in your company that can, right? Okay. John said he didn't know House Call Pro makes websites. Yep, they sure do. All right. Steven said House Call Pro made my website. He put a link right there if anyone wants to see it. That's awesome. Networking groups, Chamber of Commerce meetings, BNI. Here's a tip. When you do your networking, when you go to your Chamber of Commerce meetings, don't be a fly on the wall. Don't be a piece of wallpaper, right? Go to the meeting with your logo, meet people, but here's the tip. Try to take some of those relationships outside of the meeting. Take people to coffee. Let them know your company. slide them your card. Then you're going to feed them to your website. Now, when they land on the website, it's not just a random site. They've related it to the guy I met or the lady I met at the meeting. So a website is not solely for, hey, I have a website, it's going to bring me leads. It doesn't work that way, right? We send people to our website, and then we hope that our website converts them to be a customer. And we do that by telling a really good story, and we do that by having a call to action on the site. I know the House Call Pro built websites have online booking. It's right at the top. It's big. It's huge. Guys, if you're not using online booking, do it. Don't be afraid. Don't get in the way of yourself. Online booking is not the way of the future. Online booking at this point has been in the past and is very much present. People are online booking. We get probably 10 online bookings. I would say at least 10 online bookings a week when it's hot, because I'm in HVAC, when it's extremely hot. It slows down a little bit in the fall, but hey, people don't want to have to call always. Give them an option. Use the online booking. Have the call to action on there. Pass people there, right? So if I wear this shirt and I go out and I say, hey, I walked out and nobody liked my shirt, everyone hated it, shirts don't work. That doesn't mean shirts don't work. That just means I have an ugly shirt on, right? So if you've dumped money into your website and it hasn't worked, that doesn't mean websites don't convert. All that means is maybe the website needs a little bit of work. So we tweak and we tweak and we tweak until we get that story right. We go into the community, we take people to coffee, we meet people, we give them our card, we tell them our business story, and we make an emotional connection. All right. Let's see. Cindy says they did mine. We get online now, so it's nice. All right. Houston said, do you hire more techs before work comes in, or do you hire more? That's a good question, Houston. That actually leads me to the next slide, and we'll skip these here because we talked about consistency and finding your story. Focus on the content calendar. That just keeps you engaged, because you guys know how it is. We put out fires in business. One minute we say we're going to work on our website, and then next thing you know, we haven't worked on it, right? So the phone number, the online booking. So we need photos of friendly people. We need a compelling story that makes you different than anyone else. There's one in our town that actually says we installed the first air conditioner in Fayetteville in 1952. That's a pretty powerful story. It's hard to compete with that, right? Mine is veteran owned. Hey, we know the community because we've lived it and we understand you. So something that makes them, when they're stressed out and they're hot and they say, oh, there's too many people to hire, I don't know which one is good. And they land and say, man, they seem like good people. That's how you win customers. Not, we do pressure washing, we do these cities, we do plumbing. That's not compelling. It has to be there, obviously, because that's how people find the site. But there has to be something else. Why are you doing plumbing? What do you do in your spare time? This is how you start to stand out. Okay? All right, what else do we have?
Yep. So earlier we have Jeremy also asked a question regarding BNI, asking if it's worth it. I appreciate you guys chiming in. Everyone who has gotten some really good output when it comes to joining BNI. Your thoughts, Coach, about
BNI?
how do we make it worth it? Yeah.
Yeah. So no networking group ever works unless you make it work. But BNI is a group of other business owners. So, and this is a little tip. Whenever we try to find leads, a lot of times companies will go to customers. Listen, who touches more customers? The actual customer or other business owners, right? So if I want referrals, I'm an HVAC company. I want to meet not just customers. Hey, you guys are homeowners. I need homeowners. I want to network with an electrician who's in 5 houses a day. And he's in those houses. They already know him. They already trust him. He goes in, their house is hot. He says, I know a guy. Hands them a card. Now they're calling me. They are not calling HVAC company near me. That's the beauty of the Chamber of Commerce, BNI, those types of groups, because it's not just reaching out to customers, but you're reaching out to business owners who have lists of thousands of customers, right? So yeah, it's definitely worth it. You got to make it worth it. BNI will never work if you sit on there like this, if it's on Zoom, right? So you have to show your face, you have to talk, You just have to get your coffee, get whatever wakes you up, and get in there and meet people. All right.